Dad, are you okay?
Yeah, it's just not fair. It's annoying. They asked me to make another video. The other rabbis have a much easier time with these videos. Rabbi Wahlberg is so eloquent, Rabbi Posner is so interesting, Rabbi Yogiv is so profound, but it's really a lot of work for me. And on top of that, they don't pay me any extra. And then Rena Golaskov goes ahead and touches up their videos and make them look so nice. And mine, I look like I'm in a basement somewhere.
Dad, you are in a basement.
Have you been recording this the whole time?
Only for the last 40 seconds.
Oh my gosh, you're in big trouble later. All right, let's hope nobody heard what I said until now. My question to you today is, how many of you went to sleepaway camp as kids? A lot of you. I'm just kidding, this is pre-recorded. I can't see any of your responses. I went to sleepaway camp for 4 summers in the Catskill Mountains in New York, the summer after 5th grade through the summer after 8th grade. While Beth Tefillah camp and many camps appear to not be opening this summer, I've decided that this summer either my kids go to camp or I'm going to go to camp for 8 weeks or 80 weeks or 800 weeks. I really enjoyed the sleepaway camp that I went to. I learned valuable things. I learned that some boys shower more than others. I learned that there are a lot of Jews in New York and some of them are a little bit rougher around the edges than those of us from outside of New York. I learned how to use a slingshot. I started drum lessons. I learned how to juggle. But there's something that for some reason has stuck with me all these years, and that is a story that I heard from one of the rabbis, a division head at camp, and I'd like to share that with you. Apparently this story was found in the back of the Times. That's the New York Times, not the Baltimore Jewish Times. As I mentioned, the rabbi was from New York, so he never heard of the Baltimore Jewish Times, and being from New York, there's a good chance he never even heard of Baltimore itself. So apparently a man went on a safari in Africa, and he woke up one morning, got outside, went outside his tent, and started to stretch, and all of a sudden he heard a noise.
What noise did he hear?
Great question. He heard the roar of a very hungry lion, and he turned around, and there was the lion about 20 yards away, licking his lips, looking right at him, and the lion started charging, and it was getting closer and closer. Is this a good time for a commercial break? I have them in suspense. There are no commercial breaks, right? So the man realized quickly he could not go back to his tent and get his rifle, so he did what any rational human being would do. He closed his eyes, turned his fingers into a gun, and shot. And he even made the boom sound. I think it wouldn't be official without the boom. He opened his eyes, and he expected that he would be in the next world, talking to his deceased ancestors, meeting God. But he looked around and the world looked pretty much the same. He looked down at his feet and there was the lion with a bullet hole in the heart. The lion, I guess, was up there meeting his dead ancestors. I don't know how that works. And he could not believe what he had just done. He was just so overjoyed, so elated. And he's looking down at his fingers and he's just in disbelief. He, of course, was careful not to point his fingers at himself. I guess this gives new meaning to the term handgun. And then he heard another noise. This was your cue to go. What was the other noise he heard?
What was the other noise he heard?
Great question. He heard the sounds of laughter, and he turned around, and there was an old man holding a rifle about 20 yards behind him on the other side. The man said to him, "Are you crazy? You think that you shot the lion? You couldn't possibly have done it. I saw the lion charging at you, and being the good citizen that I am, I shot the lion for you." And the moral of the story is obvious. How many times have we hit a home run, or hit a 3-point shot, or closed an important business deal, or got an amazing raise, and we take credit for it, and Hashem is laughing at us. You think you did that by yourself? You couldn't possibly have done that. So of course, when we do something right, we should feel good about ourselves, and we should certainly commend and congratulate other people who have done the right thing. But let's remember that Hashem is really up there pulling the strings and orchestrating everything. And let's hope that Hashem pulls the strings on this coronavirus and moves it far away from us. And let's hope Hashem pulls the strings on Beth Tefillah and lets them pay me more for this video. I just want to conclude by saying I'm only kidding. Beth Tefillah has been so kind and generous to me and my family for the last 11 years. This was just a joke. All right, take care, everybody.